All right, Karthik, how you doing, my friend? Is your mic on?
All right. Hey, sorry about that. Just had it on mute. How are you, my friend?
Doing great. Another weekly squeeze show. Welcome, everyone. Your host, EO Breakers and Karthik.
Hey, guys.
We have a full agenda. Well, as usual, we had the good weekly close on Bitcoin, so we'll start with crypto. Crypto is rallying right now. I like the fact that we are doing the 8 p.m. shows because, like, during bull markets, you have continuous, basically good closes, and so far it's good. I expect stronger questions, but I think we are still operating within the projections of Plan B. I'll cover that. So Bitcoin and Ethereum, we'll cover crypto first. Then we'll look at the perhaps some of the altcoins very quickly, and then we'll go to Karthik's weekly plan, the economic calendar. I'm always excited to hear his views on the week and what could affect the price action. And we'll come back to money calendar and then select stocks. So if you guys are watching this live, feel free to post some of the stocks you want us to look at. We'll take a look at those.
Perfect. Yeah, good plan. Yeah.
Perfect. Anything you want to say as an opening remarks before I jump into the crypto?
No, I mean, welcome everybody, and please post your questions as you said, so that we could address any of your questions, or leave us a comment if you're not able to attend, so we could kind of take a look at them and address it in the next session as well. So just wanted to say that, and let's hand it back to you.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Karthik. So let's take a look at Bitcoin, guys. As we so we're looking at the daily chart. We have very nice squeeze setup here. We could get some big moves this week with ADX setting up at 37. So I'm actually excited about that because earlier it looked like Bitcoin would kind of break down. Like if you look at the 4-hour chart, the way it was kind of looking like we were breaking out here, and then we came back into the channel. It looked like we were going to continue down into the channel, but now, with this weekly close, it's the chart actually looks much better. I actually looked at the historical view of Bitcoin, and I'm predicting this price action here, and I'll explain. So the way I'm predicting this price action is based on the similar setup we had over here. And it's the basically same type of squeeze setup, momentum waves, green money flow, and the with the RSI, etc. So this setup is very similar to the setup you might potentially have here. So the way it looks like is, I hope I'm wrong about this because I do want Bitcoin to go to 200K, 300K this year, but my current prediction based on the historical price action is by the end of the year, we go hit 86K. And another direct line, it's kind of, obviously runs and pullbacks and runs, and then you hit by the end of the year 86K. And then we have a massive correction that puts us back to this very strong trend line that's coming from many, many months ago. So I do expect us to come down and test this trend line before we go much, much, much higher into the 2022. But right now, this squeeze setup here, daily squeeze, really exciting if you ask me. With the bullish histogram, looks like we could, this prediction could come through. We'll see how the price action happens here. but we have this small channel here, and if we break out of this, we could go up and then come back and test this as a support, and then do this rally here by the end of the year. I'll show you what the weekly looks like. So as you can see on the weekly chart, this would be a very bullish run up, and then followed by a correction, pretty significant correction. I think this is more like a, yeah, for me to come back, come back down to 50K level is from 80K, 86, 90K is significant correction, right? And it would still keep us in the bullish trend. I'm hoping that we don't break this line here. That would be really bullish if we just bounce quickly from here. But we may come back and test this trend line. So let me just take a look. Yeah, we have 4-hour squeezes as well. Guys, these squeezes look really good. It looks like we could get some explosive moves this week. Let me see. Not this one. Let me see what Ethereum looks like. Daily, we have a low compression squeeze. Let me see if weekly is already in consolidation. So, so we have a 4-hour squeeze, guys. This looks good. Look at this. I want the ADX number to be bigger. So right now it's not there yet. So we will stay in the squeeze a little bit more. But this squeeze, this histogram is turning. We have a green dot buy signal, momentum wave turning, money flow is potentially turning. We'll see how this goes, but it looks like it's turning. So, if you guys take a look at it, it's kind of like the move here, but the money flow was here, came down, but it rolled back up. So this has a potential to turn in a bigger way. So definitely 4,900, 5,100 in the cards. Okay, we'll see how it goes, but it looks like Bitcoin is going to move first, which is interesting. So that'll change the Bitcoin dominance. We'll see how this squeeze plays, but I'm very bullish on this setup with the squeeze, money flow turning to the green. We'll see. If it stays in the squeeze for a long time and the histogram doesn't turn up to the positive, then we may just do this before it takes off like this. That may be the reason of the price pattern here. So we kind of stay here and then roll up. Any questions, Karthik, on Bitcoin and Ethereum?
I was reading few things this weekend on blockchain technology and all those kind of things, which is probably new to me. I just wanted to share a few things, and I had one question. Let me share my screen here, guys. Not this one. Yeah, right there. All right. So this was pretty interesting when I saw this. Everybody this was kind of the trigger back in whenever this happened, right? I mean, the blockchain technology, in terms of expectations, it was high back here in 2017, I think. And then now this is just basically, in terms of kind of how people are, in terms of understanding of the blockchain technology and all those kind of things. Right now, where we are is the slope of enlightenment right here. So do we still have the plateau of productivity, to come up? Like you said, this can go, I don't know, wherever, right? You see the trough here, so I think we're coming out of the trough. So, with some of these things that I'm reading in terms of interactions with this technology, there's a lot of things that could happen. Number one, and number two, with the introduction of metaverse terminology, at least to me, it is a new term, and trying to learn more about these things could be very interesting. I saw this chart, so I thought I could share this, number one. And number two, not sure if you guys can see this one. This is the crypto total market cap. I mean, obviously, we all know the total market cap is majority of the market cap is Bitcoin and Ethereum and few other coins. Look at this ABCD pattern, right? Like ABCD. It's a $3 trillion market cap. Does this mean that we get some selling in here with this ABCD pattern completion? I don't know. I don't know the answer. So, but I think this is one of the patterns that I kind of watch on the stocks and futures markets. But crypto is a total different animal, right? You probably know more than me on this one. I think any pullbacks we get, I think we should kind of buy this as as I shared before. I think we are still in the slope of enlightenment here. I think there's more scope for running this market to whatever dollars in terms of the market cap or in terms of whatever the price objective on an Ethereum and Bitcoin is. I guess with that said, the one question I had was, all the big players, right? I mean, they have, I mean, in terms of Bitcoin, it's all moved significantly higher, right? I mean, are they buying at this $3 trillion market cap right here, or do they wait for some kind of price to move lower? And what would be the price that we would get in? Like, it is 50,000, or I don't know. Like, what's the number that you're looking for?
You have to look at this differently than the traditional markets, where I typically look at this with the on-chain analysis, which is on-chain analysis shows people like big investors took out Bitcoin away from exchanges. Unless that changes, you're not gonna have the big sell pressure. So right now, this is still indicative of supply not being there for purchases, and the retail FOMOing in big time, typically at the top of the if we're gonna get blow off top, that's gonna be the people who are FOMOing in, in the next 2 months. And
I think,
I think that's gonna happen once we kind of cross the 75K level. That's when people will start, and it'll take us to 90K. That's when we kind of will have the correction.
Yeah, I think that's, from a potential standpoint, there's still there's long-term kind of look back from and look at the internet world when it started, right? This is just like entire reforming the internet, right? The metaverse concepts and all those kind of things. This is like, it's still kind of in the early infant stages, I think. But who am I to say that where this is going to go?
I posted this on my Twitter that I can show you guys, like my
I know. I think you keep saying if there's any bad news that comes out and they try to move the market lower, and the prices doesn't come lower, it keeps moving higher.
So you guys, I don't know if everybody understands how big deal this real ETF news was and how Bitcoin handled this so well. I mean, that's so bullish. The fact that we didn't crash big time after this ETF news, it was so built up. So, the real ETF is going to really, really take this to the next level. And I posted this chart based on the historical price analysis back in July 11th. Okay. And, everybody was around that time frame talking about, how we're kind of continuing to go down. you guys see, like I put this trend line. This comes from all the way from like 2012 area.
Yeah.
So we're kind of still on this trend, and in fact, it could still pull down more, and it would still be bullish. We haven't broken this trend line. This is for many, many years, and if the same pattern follows, look at my price target. In a couple of years, perhaps about a year and a half from now, you're like looking at a $609,000 Bitcoin. By the way, I think this is a month. Is it a monthly chart? Yeah, this is a monthly chart. So every bar is a month. So look at this chart, guys. I mean, so I was expecting this pullback to take us all the way down to, kind of consolidate down to this 30K level. But what we did was we just had a VIC here and hit the 28K, and then we just quickly ramped up. So if you ask me, this price prediction I made is more like the price prediction here than the price prediction on these areas. So you see how this one, after come up, it kind of stayed up here and then had a blow up top.
Yeah.
The same thing is possible here, and this was this is a crazy move. It's like, so if let's say a ballpark, this is 200 to, it's a 5x move. So if you had a 5x move from here, that would be 250K.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
Yeah, and that's like from where we are, 1, 2, 3, 4 months from now. So 3 months or 4 months from now, possibly you're looking at a 250 if it follows this pattern. Now we have more adoption, more stability versus the back in the 2014 area. So we may not have this drastic move up, but I do think if we're going to have a blow up top, and the market cipher is setting up that way on the monthly chart.
Got it. Okay. Interesting.
So, guys, I am like, this is crazy. Let me see if I can open this up to the real chart. So the other thing I want to share with you guys is if we can look at 2017. Okay. So I actually think 2017 looks so. Okay, so going in. So here's what I think. So where are we now? We're at October, November. So we just did this. So we're in November. This is the remaining move, if you ask me. Okay.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So I think we're repeating this trend here, and this is a weekly chart. Let me do daily. Daily will show the pullbacks a lot better before the. So let's take a look. So if you ask me, last couple of days, we just did, now this is October, but it's not exactly matching, but where's the remaining data here? That's interesting. Oh, this is 21. So this move here, okay? This is from 20 October to 28 October. This is a second pullback right here, right? We went from here to here. So that's 5,000 point move. So that was November 9th to 14th. So let's look at 2017. Let's see if I can go that far. You guys will see. This is the exact same chart, guys. We did this. We did this. We just did this right here. So that's my view. I think we just did this here. That was 83.78 to 78. So yeah, about 500 points out of 8,000, about a similar percentage. So it's still good in the vicinity. So I don't know. I just think that this is what's remaining, and that's not a small move.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, not a small move.
Now we may have a little bit more stability, just given how adoption is taking over, and there's more understanding of Bitcoin than before. So, so look at my Fibonacci levels. Okay, on the weekly chart. Look, guys, this is so bullish. Like, we're just breaking out of this. I think I would look at 1618, the possible target. Why? I mean, yeah, I'm just looking at look how we did here, like this. I'm gonna show you guys. So right here, these two waves after this trigger wave, that's what we're doing right here, right now. So this is, so something like this is possible. We will consolidate here, and that would put us to 2618 target, which is 177K by April of 2022. That's interesting to me. I mean, that's just strictly looking at this chart based on this historical repeatable pattern. Okay.
Yeah.
Recent behavior. I'm just gonna save this, but anyhow, but it's more than likely that somewhere around here we'll have a pullback. So way before that. So yeah, now look at this. So this first marker is at 83K. Yeah, somewhere here, probably 85K or so, 86K my target from the lower time frame. We'll probably hit that number and pull back.
Yeah,
something like that. Okay,
more than double. Well, that's fascinating chart if it does that, right?
Yeah. So Ethereum, on the other hand, looks a little more. Look at this trend line. It keeps maintaining this trend line. I mean, it's going to slow down here. That's what it looks like on the weekly chart, with the momentum wave coming down, and we have divergences. So it hasn't broken down this, but if it breaks this down, we may have some nasty pullbacks on Ethereum, unfortunately. But it looks like so far it is respecting this line, and we're closer to the bottom. So there's more likely that we're going to do this move and hit the top of this more than anything else.
Okay.
So before we come down, I think we hit here the daily. Yeah. So it's been respecting this channel pretty well, actually. So I expect us to go ahead. So it's kind of consistent, I guess. 1618 is at 6600.
So this did not have impact, I think, right? On Friday, I read a news that the regulators did not approve the Bitcoin ETF or the crypto ETF or whatever.
Yeah, we pulled back a little bit, but I was happy to see how Bitcoin handled it. I think there was a lot more anticipation and price action that had already been priced in Bitcoin, with the anticipation that, in fact, I was even talking about ETF approval. And by the way, we're talking about regular ETF, not futures ETF. Obviously, you guys know we have the futures ETF approval, but futures ETF is nothing. It has no impact on price other than it creates manipulation tools for people there's no direct underlying asset impact because they don't have to purchase the underlying asset. Real ETF requires the purchase of underlying asset, which has a direct price impact to the asset. So we are waiting for that. That's when that happens, we're going to be going somewhere else.
Yeah. Last thing that I wanted to share that I saw was like, here's a patent that was filed by Microsoft, right? That describes a human body sensor communicating with cryptocurrency. So I don't know what the hell it's doing, but like, it's pretty fascinating, like in terms of like, how the human body sensors, how does it communicate with cryptocurrency and mining and all those kind of things. This is a Microsoft kind of patent that I kind of.
Interesting. I have to read this.
Yeah. It is interesting. So that's my last spiel on cryptos and how I'm kind of getting bullish now. But I know you've been kind of bullish last, as far as we know. I think you've been bullish.
Yeah, I mean, I took some profits to make sure some of my investments are balanced. Next 2 months, I'm going to be looking to scale up more on some things.
Yeah.
Make sure I have diversified bags of, long-term projects that in the 3-4 years time frame that'll produce, 100x's.
Yeah.
So the stuff that I am taking profits from are the things I invested 3 years ago that had played very well. Obviously, the dominant players, Bitcoin, Ethereum, projects like that, we're gonna always keep them because they are like the apex players. But projects I told you guys, AVAX, Luna, VeChain, some of the Polkadot ecosystem coins and metaverse coins. So if you distribute the small chunks of investment into these things, some of these things will significantly outperform others, and overall your portfolio will do well. So,
sure.
So definitely take a look at. Let me just show you before I turn it over to Karthik.
Yeah.
So. Just gonna look at the coin market cap very quickly, right? So Bitcoin, Ethereum, obviously, given, make sure you have some exposure to that. Those two, right? Especially Ethereum could easily see, double at the very least, and perhaps you could see numbers like 19,000 with Ethereum. Solana, right? The smart contract systems, anything competing with Ethereum that in a better performance. And Solana had their conference, this past week, and they're doing great things. I think the whole ecosystem has great potential. Like this has a potential of $1,000 a coin in the near future. Wow. XRP, we might hear some sort of regulatory outcome from their SEC case, and I think it's going to be positive news for these guys. This thing, if there's a positive news in December, for example, could be $4, right? Again, none of the things I'm telling you guys are financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Crypto has lots of big risks, so I'm just sharing my views on what I'm looking at for my portfolio. Dogecoin, I think Polkadot ecosystem and Dogecoin, I would definitely make sure you have some exposure to these. In the stablecoin ecosystem, Terra Luna, I think this could easily 3x from here. Avalanche, I was giving you guys when it was $50 under $100 price target. We hit my price targets already. I think this has a lot more room to go. I think just looking at tactical charts, this could easily get $300 coin. I think it just moved a lot over the last couple of weeks, so you might want to wait for it to pull back before getting in. But this is a project in the long run. It's a very well-run blockchain. I do like the fact that the founder is Turkish, so, so I do like following him. Chainlink, every blockchain will need some sort of oracle, and Chainlink is the go-to place. So I'm surprised that it's still in $34 range. This thing could easily be above 100. Uniswap, it's in decentralized exchanges, and definitely something you want to have some exposure in. Algorand, as you guys know, is a robust blockchain system. It's probably more futuristic, and it's a longer term hold. It's smaller market cap compared to others. There's a big appreciation opportunity exists. And then finally, my two favorites, Polygon and VeChain. I have a big bag of Polygon. I have big expectations of Polygon. Anything layer 2 that's attached to Ethereum, and Ethereum moves. If Ethereum moves like 2x, this is gonna make 6x. Kind of like that. That's the ratio. So this is Polygon solves gas problem for Ethereum and a lot of the NFT projects. So we'll see these layer 2 usage in the near term. And then VeChain, some of the staking, proof of authority stuff, they were well ahead of everybody else. I think their progression, even though project and activity-wise they were way ahead of everybody, I think their exposure to the Western world has not been as quick. So this has a lot more appreciation opportunity. I have a 0.5, 50-cent price target on this. So this could triple from here. And if we do super cycle, it could be a $1 VeChain. Anyhow, so those are kind of my views on what's at the top of this table. So some good opportunities still exist. We on this channel, we only buy things when it's on a pullback or red candles. We don't chase things that when they make these big green candles, right? So like if you're an ADA holder and you had this big green candles, you caught it here, you're sitting on no profits while everything else is rallying. So as an ADA holder, there was a time you could be Cardano holder, but that time may not be right now. So they need to accomplish a lot more before we see some big price movement on Cardano, I think. All right, with that, my friend, let's go to the real markets. What's your view for this upcoming week and economic calendar? Tell us about your plan.
Sure, thanks, Eo. That was great on cryptos, and you are always a wealth of knowledge on when it comes to that. So asset class. So it's amazing to kind of be part of your team to kind of go through some of these things. With that said, let's share my screen. Let's go through some of my weekly game plan, guys. Typical things that I look at every week. This upcoming week, with options expiry week, I think that's the biggest event. It's not an economic event, but keep an eye on some of the gamma. I guess a lot of gamma is expiring this week. Before at the options expiration on Friday. I think you may have seen this in the past. They may front run this and may get some selling going before the gamma expires on Friday. So, I mean, who knows, right? Maybe not. This time we may go straight up with the market. So, but that's one thing to keep an eye on with the options expiry coming up. And in terms of other events, I mean, you see a lot of FOMC guys speaking next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? Like you see a lot of yapping from the FOMC guys. So that's the biggest thing next week or this upcoming week. And then there's one retail sales on Tuesday, 8:30, which can be a market moving event as well. With that said, let's jump into the equities. Typical thing that we look at NQ, right? We talked about NQ last week. I think we stay bullish this market, guys. I was expecting a little bit more pullback on this, but unfortunately, we did not get to the zones that I was looking for. This is my 21 EMA, and this is my wave, so we didn't get to that zone. So it just came, I think it just came below the 8 and 13 exponential moving average, but with the structure of this market being double green, I would stay bullish going into the year end. With the seasonality on our side, which I'm going to share in a couple of minutes, I think this is probably going to go up. I think EO had some good, nice targets going into next year, so we may kind of look for those targets, guys, on NQ. Just hang on to it. If we get any pullbacks this week on the options expiry week, I would typically like to see around 15,850 to anywhere between 15,600 to 15,800. These levels right here would be a good buy zone on the NQ. With that said,
Karthik, can I show you NQ online very quickly?
Yes, please.
I think we looked at this last week as well, but just to remind everybody. So these were the targets. We're still on track with these guys. This is a weekly chart. Every bar is a weekly chart. So yeah, based on the price patterns, historical data, we're still looking for some pullback to test the median line, but the price targets are like this on the weekly chart. So if the trend is going to continue like this, is some, perhaps we are going to have a slight pullback in 2-3 weeks time frame, and then continuing uptrend.
Super. All right. So there's a few more things that a typical seasonality standpoint and some of these things. I just want to share that with you guys as well. You guys should definitely look at some of the one standard deviation moves that I share every week. If you guys can go back and look at it last week, what happened, and see what the nice bounces we get in some of the index products. I think last week the RTY had, can't remember exactly how many points, but it bounced off right off this one standard deviation moves. Some NQ for this upcoming week, 366 points, either to the upside or to the downside, is the potential one standard deviation move on the NQ. But I'll share this link with you guys later, so you guys will have all these details. With respect to the sentiment, let's go through this. I think there's some potential expectations on NASDAQ, especially, right? This came into the overbought territory last week. I think with some pullback, there's no signs of anything, but I think I would deem this pullback as kind of a neutral sentiment on NASDAQ. With the Snp, similar views on Snp as well. I guess neutral right here. It's not right in the middle, but I think it's coming down. I don't know if it'll get here, but I would treat that as neutral. Look at crude, guys. We've been sharing crude sentiment levels last couple of weeks. It looks like it's cooled off in the neutral territory, but I think we could still get some pullback. If you're trading crude, watch out for some of the levels for any buyback in crude. I think going into year end, I think this is a buying crude is my kind of thought. And last but not the least is the gold market. We've been talking about gold as well, but this has been pretty choppy. But look at where it is right now. We're at the overbought zone. Not sure where it's trading. I guess it's trading kind of slightly down, but I think we could get some pullback in gold. I think any pullbacks in gold, we would buy it, I think, is the way I see the gold market going into year end and going into next year. But I think I would see some cooling off before you buy the gold market. With that said, let's jump into the seasonality stand. One other thing here that I wanted to share is the Snp seasonality that I think I shared last week as well. You look at it for this upcoming week, potential move to the upside 65% of the time for, I guess, last 10 years from the data standpoint that they've looked at. For next 1 month, it's 0.84% from a performance standpoint, and 3 months, see how bullish we are going into next year from a seasonality standpoint. So this is kind of pretty bullish. We look at the money calendar shortly that Eo will walk us through with it to see where we can see some stocks that we could jump on board to take advantage of some of the seasonality. The last but not the least on the seasonality is this Goldman seasonality that I looked at every week as well. I mean, there's some slight pullback in the SPX that I do see something, but I think you see this going into November. I guess there's some pullback in December, maybe after the holidays of Thanksgiving, and then back to the highs for the year end. That's kind of the seasonality on the indexes. But the last thing I want to share on the sectors, look at, this is crazy, guys. Look at the semiconductors, right? It's pretty cooked with NVIDIA and AMD and all that stuff to the highs with, 3-4 sigma moves. This is, I don't know what to say. Do you want to go short? I'm not sure that we want to do that at this point. But any pullback would be kind of an opportunity to get into in the semiconductor market. But I don't have anything to say other than to share with you that look at SMH, look at XLK. They're all cooked right now. So take a look at the sentiment levels and play the game accordingly. But I think as we see here, the energy markets have pulled back slightly to the neutral zone. Materials in the overbought levels, XLI at the overbought levels, so the XLV, and look at the financials, right? I mean, that's kind of pulled back from overbought to the neutral territory. So this would be a good buy zone. Actually, I like financials with the interest rates and all that stuff going on. So maybe a good buy would be pullback to this buy zone, to the green lines, which is my buy zone from a sentiment standpoint. Wish we had more time that we could go through each of the sectors and look at relative outperformers and how I track them. Maybe next week I may take a look at some of those things and share my views on some of the sectors and the relative outperformance in those sectors. With that said, on the sector, guys, please feel free to type in your questions if you guys have anything to address on any of the things that I discussed. I will hand this back to Eo to get his views on the money calendar and some of the stocks we can kind of take a look at.
All right, so let me share my screen. So we have interesting stocks to look at on the money calendar this time. So let me see. So first of all, let me just show the full November again. Just remind you, this is an all green week. That doesn't mean it's going to be everyday bullish. It just means that we're going to have, looking at the last 10 years of price action, we're going to have significant number of stocks, that has green patterns. And let's start with Monday. Look at this, guys. We have Amazon, Google at the top, Karthik. 9 out of 10 times they were profitable. Look at the Amazon chart. If you enter the trade on November 15 and exited on November 29th, on average, you made 22-point profits. And you have 83-point max profit during 11 days. 9 out of 10 years, it was profitable. There's 1 year that did very, very badly, but that was 2011. So the last 9 years, it was profitable. So that's actually good news for me because I do have a Amazon position from last week.
Great.
Google is also 9 out of 10, although there's one that's not looking good in the middle of the trend, which I don't like seeing. But it is also last 6 years, it was green. November 15 entry and closing December 13. Let me see if there's any 100% on the list. There's one here, FedEx. I wonder how IWM chart looks like, Karthik. We should probably take a look. We have FedEx here. Look at this. This is actually pretty good. 2019, it was a small profit, but all 10 years, this was a profitable trade. Entering into a bullish trade on November 15th, meaning tomorrow, and exiting on November 30th. On average, you would make a $5 move. You could make as high as $26. You have an uptrend on the net profits as well. So I'm writing down FedEx. We should definitely check the charts on FedEx.
Sure.
And I want to look at IWM as well, just and the transportation. I think we should probably take a look. I don't know if that means anything, or is it just FedEx singling out? BA is there, but they're 90%. Okay, that's FedEx was the only 100%. So we look at Amazon and we look at Google from this list. Anything else you like here? I think that's it. And then the power meter comes down and you come down here. It's interesting to see SPY and QQQ. Although this is not a good pattern. All right, let's go back to the day after, November 16th. What does that look like? Again, we have Amazon on the list. What is our, FedEx on our 100% list. So we definitely should check FedEx. There's Nike. Not looking good. I don't like seeing negative years in recent years. Algo looks good. It's November 16th. Let's see, what else we want to take from this list? Oh, Karthik, you did get in on MAR, right, last week?
A small position in MAR.
It looks good. Good.
Is it 90% this time? I can't.
Yeah, 90%. Was it 100% before last week? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I can't remember either. So I may have to go back and look at it. But the chart pulled back right into my zone, so I kind of got into a small conservative entry right there. So let's see.
No, MAR chart looked good. I remember. Let's see, any 100% FedEx as well. Yeah, it's the only one. This is too low in the power meter, but this guy is on the list. Yeah, Google's on the list. Let me see. How is Thursday looking like? DE. Thursday, November 18, DE. Let's take a look. 100% win rate. Yeah, it looks good. December 28. So if you entered buy November 18, exit December 28. On average, you made 6 points. So we'll have to take a look at the chart as well. Let me see anything interesting you're seeing here. CRM. CRM, is this the bearish trade?
Wow.
You
Okay.
would make profit on a bearish trade, but on average, you would make 4 points. Doesn't look that exciting. What is this ETN?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna check.
ETN looks good.
Oh, it's Econ Corporation. Yeah, the chart looks good, actually.
Okay. Something to take a look. There's a net profit of $14 possible, although average trade because of these low years, it's 149, but it's 100% trade.
Yeah, that looks good, actually. I like it.
Okay, we should take a look at this. And let's go to Friday. Yeah, Amazon is still on the list. 90%. What's this 100%? Gold, GLD pullback, bearish trade. I like this actually. Because I think GLD is at the top of its range.
Oh, yeah. It's from a sentiment standpoint, too. I think it's...
So this is a Friday trade. So Friday, you sell gold and buy back November 29th. And on average, yeah, you make a net profit of 21 points. So max profit, average trade. I don't know. I'm not crazy about this declining profit, but the peak kind of skewing results.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily do anything on this. But I just remembered looking at the charts that there is a potential pullback possible. Well, let me see if there's a better deal here. Google, these are all 90%. I don't know if I want to spend time on 90%, but we should, I mean, D is still on the list. Google is still on the list. So what does Amazon look like? It's still 90%. It looks good. I mean, this is all green. All right, so that makes me, okay, so we'll come back to those. What did we decide? I was doing a scan last time, right? Do you remember what we were scanning? Oh, I was doing the optimal breakout scans. Okay, I will do that right now.
Okay.
To see if there's a trend.
I couldn't remember. Yeah.
So let's run break optimal scan Snp 500 option. Let's see if there's anything showing up. Nope, not good. Okay, let me just run it against Russell. Nope, no, this is good. Okay. All right, so and then let's take a look at optimal call put. Snp. Sometimes we catch something on these scans that are like, I like playing them. They're typically high probability if we catch something.
Yeah, sure. dear on it.
Yeah, but there's one non-compliant. I'd like to see 100% return.
Okay.
This looks good. This one right here, 78% return. All top. Although this is the start ones are not good because it comes to a weekend, I think, or a holiday.
Okay.
Or Agilent. So the thing with these things is when you do these, you look at your average return on the last 4 trades, and then, I don't take anything less than 50%. You gotta have the return, and basically you just simply buy this call before earnings at 11:15. And then you exit on 11:22 before earnings. So this is run into earnings, just historical data combined. You're benefiting from IV, I suspect. Yeah, this is what it does before earnings, and look where the IV is. So the IV is doing just this right now. It's going to go up to here. So there's so much possibility of appreciation of option premium. Because you're going to exit before the earnings, you're going to benefit from that IV increase. So that's why. That's how the scan works. Let me see if there's something nicer on the Russell.
So what was the return on A, did you say, on that one? The chart looks okay.
So that was, let's go back.
We looked at it last week too, I think, the A, but we didn't go deeper. But
so Agilent, 55%. So okay. Last 3 you had about 50.
Gotcha.
This is the chart looks like. It's a run into earnings. It's gonna do this. This is kind of one of those boring stocks that'll do well.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't move, it does this range. You're gonna get IV increase because IV is on the low side.
Yeah.
See, IV is like in its average range. Right before earnings, look at this, guys. Right?
Yeah.
This is what it does. IV. So it's really kind of skewed towards the last couple of days before the earnings. So its last 7 days probably is this. So you're going to see something like this here, last 7 days. That's going to go up here. That's what you're going to benefit from. It's the option premium increase.
What was the scan again? I like that scan. So we should do this like every earnings before the earnings season starts.
Yeah, definitely. I keep forgetting these. This is like
optimal call put. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, optimal call put. Yeah. Yeah, just remind me to run these. These are based on the historical price action.
Okay.
And the software detects this a lot easier than us themselves, right? We can, like, it just knows that what historically it's done. So, in fact, the exact trades are here, what the software would do.
Yeah, I'll talk about this offline on some of my thoughts on that. If we can do the scan every week or every day to look for potential opportunities. Let's talk it offline.
All right, so let's go quickly. We're kind of getting to the top of the hour. Let's go to FedEx chart, Karthik. If we come to you. That was.
Yeah, I can take a look at it. Yeah. FedEx guys, there's a lot of it's the structure is setting up bullish. You see all these dots in here, the propulsion dots lightening up, so that's pretty good. I still have the trend, the momentum is green, and the trend in terms of my structure is kind of sideways. There's 200 exponential moving average dots here, the white dots. If EO is saying bullish on the money calendar. Let's just see if we get a pullback to 242, 240 to 245, another $5 to $8 pullback. We could kind of entertain a buy next week, and then I think we can see this roll up, at least to get back into the 258 to 60 area, which could be a potential zone where this could be a resistance. So wait for the pullback to get in 240-ish, 245, and then take profits around 260. So that's where I would kind of entertain FedEx. What was the other things? You want me to look at DE as well? Or
FedEx for let's do Monday first. So FedEx, Amazon, Google.
Okay. Amazon, I think since you already said you have.
I'm interested in your views. I'm biased.
Yeah. I mean, see, I do want to share a few things before we wrap up. But Amazon, guys, I don't know. I mean, still, there's a lot of price movement that we could take advantage of if you look at a shorter term perspective, like a 30-minute, if you're trading a 30-minute or an hourly chart. But I think from a structure standpoint, it's turning. The trend is, the momentum at least is shifting to the upside. From a trend perspective, it's still sideways, right? You guys see this, how sideways it is. Can it go back and touch before the year end 3,700 or whatever? Like, yeah, probably that's kind of a high probability trade going into year end. I think I would stay bullish here on the Amazon standpoint, even though my structure here is kind of not really giving me a green signal to go ahead. But with Amazon moves 100, 200 points, there could be a lot of opportunities. I'll quickly cover Google, and then you can share your thoughts on those three things. Google, I think I like it much better than Amazon. So, guys, look at this, right? I mean, this is double green on Google. I would entertain a clear pullback buy to 2,900. I mean, we did get an opportunity. I didn't look at this last week, but we did get a pullback to 2,900. You're right here at the propulsion dots. The 21 EMA would be a good buy zone and take profits tomorrow or Friday. But if you want to get back long again, I would wait again to see if there's any pullback to 2,900 or around 2,850 to 2,900. This is the zone typically I would entertain for a retracement for a double green market structure. So I like Google much better than Amazon. Yeah,
I agree.
All right. Do you want me to look at ETN? Let's
look at D and ETN.
Yeah.
We've got November 18th trade, so we may have a few days for a pullback. Correct.
Yeah, ETN, again, I do like ETN. Basically, from a structure standpoint, look at the uptrend market pullback, but again, it's turned double green again with all this propulsion dots. By 166 to 163. 163 to 166 would be my buy zone on ETN. Looks pretty good on ETN, and then when it moves back to these levels, I would take profits. What was the other one you said? DE, sorry. I put in a wrong date here, so let's look at DE. Okay, right there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is a sideways market for DE. Looks like earnings coming up on 24th of November. There could be a potential. We did see this on the optimal call put stuff. I don't know. I would trade other charts unless money calendar says 100%. I can't recall. It says 90 or 100%, but it's right here at the support zone. If you want to get long around 350, which is a good point of control around 352. And you see this volume zone in here, so that I look at could be a good support zone if it holds for going into the earnings season. But I'm not a fan of trading DE, guys.
Yeah.
But I think those were the things. You said GLD. You don't want to be trading GLD.
Let's take a look at GLD. I will chart up as well. If you could take a look. Let's see if there's really a potential pullback.
Yeah, I mean, let me.
Daily, we have a butterfly.
Okay, good. So I do like gold. I'm looking at the GC futures. You see here, it's been sideways for whatever number of months since June, right? And right now, it's just turning. My structure and the environment is turning double green. So it's a fresh uptrend. Wait for the pullback into the zones here around 1880 to 1800, anywhere another $50-$60 pullback you may get on any kind of FOMC yapping the upcoming week. Get long gold, guys. The only thing that's stopping me is this. I don't see the propulsion dots lightening up. So you see here, like how the propulsion dots lightens up here on the 20 EMA. I don't see that, but it's still a fresh uptrend with the structure. Get long around 1800 is what I would say. But I know it's a bearish play. 1860 to 1800. That's $50-$60 pullback on gold. It's like $6,000 per contract. If you're looking at futures, you could always play GLD puts to get bearish into this pullback to 1800 level. So that's my take on gold.
Okay, let me show you. We'll do a little bit of a market cipher trick.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys what I do. I'll do it with GLD though. So we have Karthik, you're the expert of these butterflies. So we have this butterfly thing here, signaling. I don't know if that means anything.
Yeah, let me pull up another chart as you can kind of go through that stuff.
So this is what I'm seeing. So we have a squeeze fired. So we're in a consolidation. So it's actually and the momentum wave is turning. VWAP is coming to zero line. So these are all indicative of pullback. So I'm trying to see if there's something similar to what it did before that I can show you guys. And it's kind of like right here. So maybe, I mean, this is very bullish, but I'll show you guys. So it did all this. It's a divergence here. So you would have this move basically. So there may be still upside to the move. Yeah, something like this is possible. In fact, it's more like this actually. It could even go more before it comes down. Just because of the squeeze firing, though, let me see. Yeah, I mean, it still has some juice left. So we'll see. Yeah, I think this is a daily chart. So you have 1 week to the upside towards the end of the week. Wow, this GLD was a Friday, right?
yeah, GLD was Friday. I think this is the chart that I was looking at, that from Larry. Some of the patterns that we look at, right, the ABCD patterns, like there's a couple of confluence of the ABCD patterns and then the 78% retracement levels, all lining up pretty well around 1879 for a potential short. 79 would be ideal. I don't think we got this tonight. Let me just quickly check. 1873 level. Interesting. So it didn't get to this ABCD pattern, but it's 1872. I think it started selling off. I think I missed that trade, guys, from the short side. Maybe we get some push up to these levels, and I think we could line up for some potential bearish trade. But I think from a longer term standpoint, any pullbacks to some of the fib levels, we should buy gold. But that's my take. Just some additions to my initial thoughts on gold. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Let's double check where we are with crypto.
Yeah.
Just I like checking it in the beginning of the session and then at the end of our session to see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's looking good. Bitcoin. Let me see on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, we're nicely above 65K. Oh, it's coming to 66K, and nice. I think Ethereum is doing very well as well right now. Yeah, Ethereum 5-minute shows like pullback, potential pullback, but it is up there. Look at these big green bars, guys, with volume. That's actually not bad. The volume came in right here. Yeah, it's looking good. Perfect.
Awesome. Nice session, guys. Hope this all makes sense to you guys, and you guys can take away a lot of things from this sessions. The one thing that I want to leave you guys this week is the thing that I was looking at this week. This is a report from Goldman Sachs, a guy named Rubin. I can't remember his first name, but what he is expecting going into November and December, right? I mean, we looked at the seasonality, but look at the amount of buying that should happen going into year end. $15 billion every day. $15 billion demand each day, right? So to close out the years. And also, you're also saying the numbers get larger into weakness. So you know what? Just buy the dip, guys. That's it. $15 billion worth of everyday buys, and the numbers getting larger into weakness. Just buy the November and December kind of going into any. If you get any weakness, I would just close your eyes and buy it. But can you buy everything? Probably not. So just keep that on the back of your mind, and also with the stock and bond ratios at the peak. This might signal institutions finally stepping into equities in a big way. They've been net sellers for a while now, but the stock bond ratio is also reflecting it could be a major spike coming up into the year end. That's kind of my takeaway for. Want to leave those couple of things with you guys, and feel free to leave your questions, comments in the feedback section, and always give what do you call that, thumbs up on your, if you like the stuff we share on these sessions, leave us a thumbs up on the channel, YouTube channel as well, guys. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great week. Let's make money in the marketplace. Thank you, my friend Karthik. Great
Thank
to see
you. Take care, man. Bye.